Take 15 talks to the versatile disabled actor and writer Nabil Shaban, whose long list of credits in radio, theatre, TV and films include the play Iranian Nights, Roland Joffe's City of Joy and more recently Derek Jarman's Wittgenstein.
I'm in England. Everything around me tells me so.
Tell me how you're searching, and I'll tell you what you're searching for.
Who's that?
Hail, Earthling.
Earthling? I'm a philosopher, Ludwig Wittgenstein. Who are you?
You could call me Mr. Green. May I ask you a question? How many toes do philosophers have?
10.
Fascinating. That's how many humans have.
Mr. Green, philosophers are humans and know how many toes they have.
Oh dear. Does that mean Martians can't be philosophers?
Oh, God.
I took up acting for several reasons. One, I wasn't supposed to act as a disabled person. It was not expected of you. The best you could hope for is to be an accountant. Secondly, it's a great form of escapism, being something but you're not in your normal life. I mean, for example, I've had the chance to play Ayatollah Khomeini, Haile Selassie, Jesus, Hamlet, live a whole range of experiences which you wouldn't normally be able to have. And thirdly, I like storytelling, and I like being part of the storytelling process.
And so do Martians.
I was able to get started as a professional actor as a result of setting up a theatre company of disabled performers, which was called Grey Eye. There was myself and an able-bodied guy called Richard Tomlinson who set this company up around about 79. It got going in 1980. We toured the States with it, went to Canada and made a name for ourselves. We started to get publicity in the national press in Britain, and also we attracted the attention of the Arena Arts documentary makers on BBC. And a combination of performing in Canada to a number of people and the Arena documentary enabled me to be seen. And as a result of that, I was offered a few weeks stint as an actor on stage.
Every religion that traveled to the West was tainted, dissipated into a satanic mire of self-indulgence, worldly illusion. I am not ignorant. Why didn't you write a good poem that everyone could read? You know, something like Tom Brown's School Days. It might have saved your life.
The various theatre work that I've done, I've enjoyed them for different reasons. So I wouldn't say, I enjoyed playing Haile Selassie more than I say Ayatollah Khomeini or Hamlet or Jesus in Godspell, because they all enabled me to discover something about human nature, something about myself, so I can appreciate those. But I suppose those four roles have been my favourite ones.
I'll no longer be a king. I'll have nothing at all. I'll be an Easterner in the West. I'll sweat, I'll save, I'll do my best. As Americans say, suck it and see.
I think it is very hard for disabled actors, performers to get work. There's still a lot of cliches within the arts industries. And people tend to think of people. For example, you don't get you get very few disabled people being cast in leading roles, unless the script actually says this person is disabled. Then they might get cast. There's only a might, because they might still prefer to cast an able-bodied person and have them, so to speak, black up and pretend to be disabled, and play that role. But generally, because our culture is very body fascist, you've got to be beautiful, you've got to have a nicely formed body, whether you're a man or a woman, if you're going to play a romantic lead, for example.
Take it all slowly.
It's not always easy to discover how you come to be working on a particular film or play, where you were seen last or whatever. But in the case of Wittgenstein, it's possible that Derek Jarman thought of me because we had met before when he was cast in Caravaggio.
I'm a philosopher, Ludwig Wittgenstein.
He was a very easygoing person to work with, that's what I felt, and he was open to suggestions. So I actually found it a joy working with him. And, well, it's a great tragedy, really. There's no one to replace him.
Cut.
As a disabled person, there's a lot to be achieved through the arts, whether it as an actor, as a writer, as a painter. They're all about presenting mirrors of society to people. And the trouble with for disabled people is that the mirror is one-sided. In other words, we're like vampires. The vampire's not reflected in a mirror, and 99% of the time disabled people are not reflected in the mirrors that are presented to the public. And so that's perhaps one of the most important reasons for me being an actor.
Hail, chromodynamics, Lord of Quantum. This is Quark, Charm and Strangeness reporting. Concerning the philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein, deceased. The solution to the riddle of life in space and time lies outside space and time. But as you know, and I know, there are no riddles. If a question can be put at all, it can also be answered.